share resources with, share digital resources. What Peter's been doing up there is sharing resources on a micro SD card, where people will get a card and put that into their Android device. So we tried a couple of other different devices over times. We tried the Maxell AirStash. We also tried the Seagate satellite drive, but mainly for the user experience, we didn't really jump in with either of those, and we found neither of them to be the product or the interface that we wanted. I came across a thing called the Pirate Box and the Library Box, and basically as soon as I saw what these bits of software were doing with these TP-Link routers, just straight away thought of the Bible Box, being able to share digital files. So essentially what the Bible Box is, it's a TP-Link MR3040 portable Wi-Fi router. Now these things are designed to share a 3G USB modems connection to however many users. But what the Pirate Box software enables with OpenWRT on the router, it enables the sharing of the files on a USB through a website that's built onto the USB. So all I've done is modify it to give it the Bible Box look and feel and brand. But essentially it's a device that somebody can very easily share files from. So there's a shared folder on there. One of the ways that it's being used in Cairns here is we have a combined churches backpackers network or a backpackers ministry, and there's a barbecue down on the Esplanade every fortnight, and there's often between 50 and 100 backpackers turn up for free food. It always draws a crowd, but a lot of conversations happen around the Lord, and the guys now that are just very excited about being able to ask people to turn on their phone, turn on their tablet, and they can present different things to them. So they're actually using it to present probably more outreach, multimedia, answers to some questions and prompting things. But it's just in conversations with people, there's different ways people can use it. Ranging from how I tend to use it is just sitting at a cafe and turning it on, or wherever I am, just turning it on and sharing files. And the files that I share, a combination of evangelism type movies or images, through to free ebooks and text files.
Campbell, this is Clyde. I'm sorry. I'm going to jump in. I gave you 5 hours, man. I meant to give you 5 minutes if you're looking at the calendar. So take like 20 more seconds or 30 more seconds to wrap, if you don't mind.
Oh, I see. Yeah. So really, it's that. It's just a portable Wi-Fi device which shares files. It's very easy and very convenient. On the website there, on BibleBox.org, there's all the instructions on how you can make your own. I've also put on there, if you don't want to make your own, you can buy one, but hopefully I've priced it so people don't bother. I'm not particularly interested in building these myself and selling them. I'd rather people just make their own. But yeah, the Math LT guys, they've developed over the years different bits of software that you guys would be aware of, and I'd really like to see some of that running on this type of device if we can, which is more course material, more training material. But that's really just a hopefully an understandable introduction to just what it is.
Awesome. Oh, that was a very good introduction. I appreciate you, short notice, taking the time to do that. Thank you very much. And we'd definitely like to keep up with it and support it and put it out there as much as possible. So
yeah, that'd be really good. We're trying to raise some money so that we can provide them to Math some mass families in the areas. So that's kind of what we're aiming for.
Wonderful.
You're welcome to stay on for the Q&A, Campbell, but given the time zone you're in, we would understand if you go to bed now because it's middle of the night.
Yeah, I do have a couple of classes tomorrow, so it'd be a bit vague. I'll hang in here.
No, feel free to go to bed.
All right. Well, we do have our. I think I saw Darcy joined in, so she's muted, but we do have her here, and we'd love to have you share a story from the field, Darcy, if you'd like to. If you can make it real quick, and we'll try and get Brian in on time. And she's still muted.
Unmute. Amen.
Did you unmute, Darcy? Go for it.
Woo! Hello, welcome. I just wanted to share a brief story of how SD cards are being used in the field, and it's so exciting to me how things are going. The Genesis chapters 1 to 9 were translated into Zazi language, and it was all checked by a consultant. So because of the language's writing system hadn't been chosen, printing was a long way off. So the team made a simple recording and of those 9 chapters that were already checked. With little editing, the audio files were all ready for distribution, and they put it on 5 mini SD cards, and copied them, gave them to local interested people. A few months passed, and one day, about 6 or so miles from the village, a translator started talking with a man he had never met. As they were chatting, the man suddenly said, "Hey, I got your voice on my mobile phone." The man had used Bluetooth to receive those scriptures from the mini SD card, and so it had transferred from phone to phone virally. As we all know, things happen. And so the potential for this mother tongue distribution of scripture is just huge. And just want to share that story with you.
Absolutely. Thank you very much, Darcy. And it is amazing. I mean, it goes to show, that story right there goes to show the potential that we have as a church to take advantage of viral mobility and use it to a very significant end. So thank you. Darcy, for those of you who are not aware of who Darcy is, Darcy works with the Seed Company, and she is part of the MMF steering committee. She has agreed to join us officially a little over a month ago, so we're really excited about that. Brian, we'd love to hear now a report from the Eurasia Media Distribution Conference. So if we can get you unmuted and have you join. Brian is also a part of the steering committee, so he's a wonderful colleague in that space. So it's all up to you, sir.
All right. Well, for those of you who aren't familiar with EMDC, it's the Eurasia Media and Distribution Conference, and this is a conference that's growing pretty rapidly. I think this is the fourth annual conference. It started by a guy in SIL with a focus on Bible and related media creation and distribution. So really two foci there: media creation and distribution, with a focus on unreached peoples and minority languages. So it's very much about pioneering type missions work. And the focus originally was Eurasia, but it's really grown beyond that, I think. That wasn't really the original intent, but I think the focus on media for unreached peoples is fairly unique. And so the conference has a broader appeal now. And this past conference was held down in Chiang Mai, Thailand, which made it much more accessible to the Asia arena. So a lot of people from all across Asia, but even beyond that, over into Africa, we had people coming from Africa as well. So it still has the name Eurasia in there, but it's really broader than that. We had about 320 participants, And I don't remember the exact number of organizations, but I think it was around 100 organizations and people coming from dozens of countries. So quite a diverse mix of people. Really neat in that regards because it gives us a great chance to as we like to say, cross-pollinate, getting people together from very diverse organizations, getting together and sharing updates and learning from one another. And of course, God's doing great things through all of these different organizations. So what a great opportunity for us to gather and put our heads together and learn together, learn from one another. The Mobile Ministry Forum was really well represented. Several of us were there, Benjamin, Clyde, and a number of others. And we began the conference actually with 4 days of pre-training, which was really exciting. I don't remember. I think there were almost 200 people, I believe, came for that training. And a lot of those were local believers, which was really exciting. And that's really the target for that training. And so it was great to see numbers of local believers coming to get equipped. Keith Williams, Darcy, who just shared, and we did a 4-day course on mobile media production with an emphasis on video production. Really, the focus there was to equip people to produce media entirely on their mobile devices. And not just that, but really to teach in a way that they could then take that training and pass it along to others. And I think that was successful. John Edmiston, who's also on the call, you'll hear from John in a few minutes talking about the mobile ministry course. But John did a workshop or a training event on app development, and that went like gangbusters. He had more people than he could handle, I think. So a lot of interest there. And then during the conference itself, Keith Williams gave a plenary session on mobile ministry. Clyde led one on visual story. And a number of us also led workshops during the event. And then after the event, there were a couple of other post-conference events. There's the Lightstream launch. Brandon is on the call with us now with Renew World Outreach. They launched the Lightstream device. Definitely learn more about that. And then we had the Visual Media Strategy Forum, which Clyde and the Visual Story Network co-sponsored. So MMF was really involved from beginning to end at EMBC, which was great. Real quickly, a few of the takeaways for me. First of all, one of the neat things about this conference is that it is primarily comprised of field workers, so it's a great time to really connect with what's going on the ground. And here are a few things that stood out to me. First, field workers seem to realize that the significance of mobile devices. They're beginning to realize the significance of mobiles as a strategic ministry tool. So almost everything that was going on during the week seemed to, in some way, come back to mobiles. And so that was great. I think it confirmed that there continues to be a strong need for MMF or a group like us to continue to provide some leadership and direction. Second, and I'll go quickly here, for those working among unreached peoples, there's a tremendous need still to focus on those with feature phones. So we need to continue to give attention to smartphones, but for at least the next 2 years, probably more, the majority of the world is still going to be using feature phones, and we need to formulate our mobile strategies accordingly. And finally, visual media matters. There's a wonderful opportunity for the gospel to be heard if we can present it visually. And this has typically happened, as we all know, through kind of a top-down approach, high-end media production being pushed out to the masses. And this, from my perspective, typically means that it's somewhat generic media that eventually gets translated into multiple languages. And I think one of the keys now is to complement that expensive time and resource-intensive effort with more organic grassroots media production, which we can do through mobiles. And I think the window of opportunity is there right now, and we've got to take advantage of it. And if we want to do that, we need to equip field-based teams and local believers to start developing their own contextualized media in the local languages. And so, Lord willing, we'll see that happen more and more and more. So those are a few takeaways for me. Great conference. If you ever get a chance to go, I highly recommend it.
We will say thank you very much, Brian, for summing that up for us. That was really well put. The next EMDC is scheduled to be in the Netherlands and Holland next year, 2015. And I believe it's going to be in April, but I have not seen, I don't know that I've seen dates yet. So, but keep an eye out for that, an ear out for that. Perhaps you can attend the next one. Mr. John Edmiston, a good friend of MMF, can you please share with us about the 6-week mobile training course?
Hi, this is John Edmiston from Cyber Missions, and it's a privilege to be on this call. I run the 6-week training course, mobile ministry training course, which is at https:/cybermissions.org/Moodle. https @cybermissions.org/Moodle. It's a 6-week course, and it's over there on the left of the screen if you can see it. It's a 6-week course, and it covers just the basics of mobile ministry, an overview, and then it goes into digital evangelism, mobile evangelism and discipleship. And then we look at mobile and social media in week 3, mobile and remote areas in week 4, and that week's getting more and more gigantic, and I don't know how we're going to cope with all the information we've got in that week. Week 5, mobile audio and video, and week 6, the mobile web. We've got 44 participants in the current course. They're doing well, slowed down a little bit over Easter, but it's picking up again, from all sorts of agencies all around the world. And the best thing about the course is the tremendous conversations that people have with one another, and the learnings of people helping one another with their problems. As well as going through the course material, we have a project forum, and this is based on a technique called appreciative inquiry. And so we encourage people in week 1 of that project forum to just go out and explore everything in mobile ministry. Then in week 2, to discover something useful for their ministry. Week 3, to dream how they can use that useful thing. Week 4, to then design an application or a project that they can implement. Week 4 of the project forum, we then ask them to deliver that project and then to review and redo it in the final week. So this is project of explore, discover, dream, design, deliver, and redo and renew. And we take them through that process, and that enables them to really think and reflect on their field practice so that they come out with something useful for the field and a lot of knowledge by the end of the course. The course costs $55, and we'd love to have more people in. At the moment, Wycliffe absolutely dominates. We have probably half to 2/3 of the applicants from Wycliffe Bible translators. But we'd love to get other missions agencies in as well. And I hope to go through the course after this thing and trim some areas and perfect the course for the next time around. I'm very grateful to the Mobile Ministry Forum for supplying people like Brad, who does week 4, and other people like Keith Williams who jump in as well. So I'm really enjoying taking this course. I invite you to tell people about it and to share about the course on Twitter. We find that most people come in through Twitter and through friends. So please bring them into the course. It's a great launching pad to get people and to get ministries involved. I'd like to be able to, in future, to offer the course to sort of one ministry at a time, or to offer it privately. So a ministry comes in, they bring 25 people. We run a special course for them, tailored to their organizational constraints. And so that'd be great. Anyway, I'm going to finish up a little bit early. So the URL again is https:/cybermissions.org/Moodle.
And the next course, John, is, I believe, July the 8th, the next cycle?
Yes, July the 8th is coming up for the next cycle. And you can, if the earlier you enroll, the better. So just go to there, you'll find an enrollment form, click on that. We've already got a couple of enrollments for July. So the earlier you enroll, the better I can get people into the process.
Thank you, John. I appreciate that. And for those of you, I'll just put a little mention in here since John brought it up. That Twitter, if any of you are on Twitter and use Twitter, mobile conversation, there's a hashtag mobmin, MOBMIN, is where a lot of us will post resources and link to things that are happening in conversations around the mobile ministry space. So you can check that out for yourself now and or later and contribute. Anytime you find something that would be helpful, please contribute. It's not exclusive by any means. Well, thank you again, John. So now we have Darcy again. We'd love to hear the Mobile Ministry Forum is putting together a sort of a more introductory course, a different type of course for new people, and we're calling it the 101 course currently, but Darcy can give us an update on that.
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Perfect. I would love to just share briefly about the mobile ministry, what we're calling the 101 course, for ministry practitioners, those who are field workers or even short-term teams who are going overseas to do something that maybe is building, construction, orphan work, whatever, and they have this mobile phone on them, and they'll encounter people with mobile phones, and we want to equip them with the idea that they can share the gospel using that wonderful personal device in their hand. And it's not hard to do, but we do want to be able to equip our Western churches to have some kind of training. And what we did is we developed what we thought was going to be maybe a manual initially, but now it's really a storyline between three characters who, two of the characters are going on a short-term trip, and the other character is helping them and equipping them with the tools necessary to do mobile evangelism and be a mobile minister with that, with their mobile phones as they encounter other people in I think, India. It's a story, and it's also with what we're calling sidebars of information, kind of technical writing, so that they can do step-by-step, follow the steps on SD card distribution, Bluetooth, downloading the films, formatting for a feature phone, those kinds of activities. So we're in progress, and we'll let you know when we're finished. And I would love to have anybody else who's on the team of writers to jump in and fill in any holes that I might have left.
That would be Brian, Clyde, Brandon.
How about you, Brian or Brandon?
Well, no, I think you covered it pretty well, Darcy. It was fun to be able to present it at EMPC. Again, it is oriented mainly towards kind of short-term mission trip folks, and it could be a really, really good resource to share with, kind of your local church or something like that. I think that's probably the only thing I'm think of it from that context.
And we're hoping to have, really the first version, hopefully in the next couple of months, really ready for prime time. We're still kind of beta testing it.
And I will also just add, plug for next webinar, that the next webinar is not an introduction to that course necessarily, but it is about how to prep your short-term team for mobile ministry while they're out and about. So the next webinar that we're doing next month is kind of centered around that topic as well. So if that's something that interests you, we don't have the resource, the 101 course available, but the next webinar will be about that. So if you or someone you know, the church or whatever, is planning a trip, that may be a good thing to tune into. And Clyde, what is the date for that one? I can't remember.
It's right down here. It is on May the 20th at 9 a.m. Right. It's a Tuesday, the 9 a.m. Pacific.
So next month on the 20th, about a month from now, when we're having that one. So keep that in mind. All right. Well, I think we'll go ahead and move on to Mr. Tim Joret and have him talk about the Open Bible Stories and Christian Commons.
All right. Yep.
Hey everyone, good to have this opportunity to virtually meet with you, and grateful for the opportunity to share briefly about some of the projects and activities going on our side of things. First off, for those of you who don't know, I'm Tim Jory. I work with Distant Shores Media and the Unfolding Word Project. And I want to start by just briefly addressing the concept of the Christian Commons to kind of form the foundation for what we're doing with Open Bible Stories. Hopefully it will make more sense that way. The reality today is that there are more than 4,000 languages, living languages, that do not have any scripture in any format. I always get in trouble when I share that particular statistic without explaining it. That's just the raw numbers. That's not with any interpretation of whether some may consider as likely need or not. It's just the reality of today. So our vision, our goal toward which we're working is that every one of these languages would have at least basic, if not adequate, biblical content in text, audio, and video format within 10 years. We think that this is entirely doable because we have incredible new opportunities in the 21st century that we just, quite frankly, have never even been able to consider before. The reality that the population of the world, everyone pretty much, is equipping themselves with mobile digital technology, every one of which these devices are increasingly capable. They can do just about anything. So we have these amazing opportunities. The rise of the global church, there's believers all over the world ready to get involved. The rise of technology, and then the cold hard reality of copyright law. It is incredibly restrictive by default, and unless you know enough for how to clear that so that others can use it without restriction, it can create a major bottleneck. We get in trouble for that too, but it is what it is. What we have been doing the last few years is research and development to find a legal way to get around the roadblocks that can be in place due to excessively restrictive licenses on biblical content. We think this is the greatest hindrance to the advance of the gospel worldwide. And we back that up. Feel free to disagree. I'd love to converse with you more. Check out the book that we wrote, ChristianCommons.com. It's actually on our website. That will take you right to it. It's a free download. It's released under an open license, and it is the manual for everything that we've researched in the last 2-3 years. It forms the foundation for what we're doing in projects like the Unfolding Word Open Bible Stories project. And you can basically think of Open Bible Stories as an implementation of the vision in the Christian Commons. So this has been designed from the outset to be able to be very rapidly translated into any language and rapidly made available in any media format, text, audio, video, mobile devices, offline preferred. So the 3 pillars, if you will, of Open Bible Stories is providing open license biblical content, the open source tools to actually use the content. So we provide an online translation platform called Door43 at door43.org. And we're developing mobile offline translation, integrated translation environments. We're working on that. I just saw some screenshots from the development team. Pretty excited to see this coming to pass. We'll integrate that with the automatic video render system that makes it trivially easy for anyone to create biblical videos in their own language. And we can do this all without you have a writing system, since that's important. Somewhere in the ballpark of 1,000, give or take 500 languages. Don't have a writing system and probably won't in the near future, since that accommodates for them as well. So open content, open tools, and open training. And we're working with Wycliffe Associates to create a very robust translation training resource that's self-guided, gamified. You can level up, rewards, the whole treatment, to really make translation fun and to enable people to learn as much as they can in their own time when it's convenient for them in their own language. So I can tell you more about that. Shoot me an email sometime, tim@distantshores.org. We are currently extending out the tools and preparing for every language in the world, pre-configuring the software for that. And I'd just like to invite you to pray with us that God would open a door for His Word. That's Colossians chapter 4, verse 3, which is the theme verse, if you will, for the Door43 translation platform. Thank you.
for that introduction, and very important what Tim and the folks at Distant Shores are doing. So definitely something to get behind. Brandon, Mr. Brandon, would you please give us an update on Lightstream? I am sorry that I missed the debut of Lightstream after ENDC, but please tell us about Lightstream.
Yeah, I'd be happy to. Once again,
Brandon, I'm sorry. Is there a website that I can show while you speak that where the Lightstream is profiled?
Well, I could give you. We have a kind of a hidden link because we haven't released it. And
okay, never mind. Just go then. Sorry.
I'll take a couple minutes to pull it up.
No problem.
Yeah, can everybody see me and hear me okay? I guess so.
Yes.
Yeah, it's always a pleasure to be here with you guys, the mobile ministry folks. We appreciate very much what you all are doing. And the Lightstream, as was mentioned already, is a new piece of equipment that we launched at EMDC, something that we've been working on for over a year. And to paint probably the easiest and broadest picture of it, is it's simply an offline media distribution tool for missionaries and field workers and gospel workers to use in context where there is not power and there is not internet, so that they can spread whatever type of gospel media they choose. And I think it's very similar to like the Bible box kind of idea, although we've tried to expand it so that, like Brian is talking about, we're able to catch those least and most impoverished peoples on the earth, the ones that are using the feature phones and the dumb phones and don't have access to the money or the internet or whatever it takes to get a smartphone and have internet access or have Wi-Fi capabilities. So the Lightstream, and I'll just hold it up right here so you guys can see it. This is the actual device itself. It uses 3 distribution methods. It uses Wi-Fi, similar to the Bible box idea, but then it's also using Bluetooth and micro SD card copying. The micro SD card copying is accomplished through the means of this USB hub, which you simply plug in to the system that I just showed you, and then you plug in a micro SD card in an adapter, and that allows you to copy the whatever content you have stored on the Lightstream that you'd like to go onto somebody's micro SD card. You just plug that in there, and it's going to automatically copy. So it's meant to be a distribution system in places where internet is restricted or not accessible for infrastructure or financial reasons. The Bluetooth is really a key component. It was one of actually the hardest thing to develop and do right and do well. And we did it because there aren't any good devices on the market that we have found that will act as a Bluetooth fire hose, so to speak. It just sit there, and anytime that they're on, be pushing out your media content over Bluetooth to any phone in range. So that's what we've designed the Lightstream to do. You simply select whatever media files you would like to have going out over Bluetooth, and Lightstream is just going to sit there and push those media files out to any Bluetooth-enabled phone in range. And the reason that we feel this is really important is because those mass of feature phones that are out there around the world, almost all of them have Bluetooth. And as long as you can use some means like the Lightstream or your own mobile device to send media over Bluetooth, you can hit those phones with Bible content, with gospel content. So in terms of production and where we're at, we did the launch that was mentioned at EMDC, and we sent out 12 units with different people who were participants in that launch. And that was kind of, it was like a pre-production run of the Lightstream systems. And so now that we're heading into production, I'm just now sourcing the last few components so that we're able to meet demand, and we'll be opening up to receive orders for the systems here within the next probably 3 weeks or so, and then you'll be able to purchase the systems. And they can be battery or solar powered, depending on how much you want to spend. The price range is from $500 to about $750, depending on which option you get. And that's the end of my time. Thanks.
Bro, that was brilliant, man. Right on the money.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. Alex, can you quickly give us, we are a little over time, but can you give us a minute and 30 seconds, 90 seconds of what is Phone Publish and who you are?
Yeah, sure. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, sir.
Good. So Phone Publish is a general purpose publishing system for Christian organizations to reach out to all the feature phones in the world. As I think others have alluded to, there are a lot of feature phones around, and there are going to be for quite some time. I mean, the numbers are pretty immense. We're talking like 3.5 billion currently, and probably similar numbers even at the end of this decade, even though smartphones are going to grow enormously. So it's something that people want to reach out to, and this system is a bit of software. It runs on a server. It's something that I'll be hosting as a web service and a website, but it generates apps. It turns your text and graphic Christian content into interactive apps for feature phones, so that people can then easily interact with it. And the apps can be downloaded or distributed however you want, like on things like the Lightstream or downloads from the internet and so on. So we're also looking at cracking some of the really hard problems, like getting any font, any digital font in any language onto any phone, which currently can't be done, and also interactive audio and video presentation, content for the blind or illiterate people in the world. So really looking at trying to cover all bases. And yeah, currently it's a semi-manual kind of process, so I have to be involved in the production process at the moment, which is a bit of a bottleneck. So at the moment, I'm seeking funding and development support to turn that into a fully automated system, self-service system, and currently talking to a few people about that. So yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Alex. Well, we thank you to all of you who took the time to come and present and talk to us a little bit about what's going on in the mobile ministry world. We wanted to allow some time for question and answer, either about what was heard here, or if you have another question for somebody, or just a general question that maybe we could answer for you. We're going to open that up.
And I'm gonna risk unmuting everyone, and so the floor is opening up here. So just go. Except for Darcy, who's like on a mountaintop.
Question for Alex from Jim.
Yeah.
Is there a way to follow a conversation with you about Phone Publish? Some sort of email address or some way to reach you?
Well, so the website is phonepublish.org, and that's got an email address on it, or you can just email me at alex@phonepublish.org.
Thank you.
Okay, well, if nobody else is up there, I've got a question.
Okay.
Somebody else has something?
Oh, go for it.
Okay. So my question's for Campbell. For Bible Talk, the TP-Link router that you all are recommending, 2 questions. 1, what's the cost on it? And 2, can it be battery powered? Do you know? Because that's something that people ask. Some people are only interested in Wi-Fi functionality, and so we point them to other stuff. Like I think Bible Docs is a great option because you save some money. So just wondered if you knew the answers to those questions.
It's I just pulled one up. It's a little. It is battery powered. The battery just slots in the back like a mobile phone, and it's about 4 or 5 hours that the battery lasts. It can also be plugged into one of those little external battery packs to go for longer. In Australia here, these MR3040 sell for about $55, but I've seen on Amazon in the US that they're around $35 to $40. That's what you get with the charger.
Okay, excellent, thanks.
What's the unit you buy on Amazon? Is your case in Lily?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Let's see.
It might be nice to.
Go ahead, Campbell.
Yeah, have you got me here? Can I?
Yeah, we got.
I'm not sure if you can hear me. Okay, it's the TP-Link MR3040.
Thank you.
I've got a page on BibleBox.org which runs through the instructions on how to set one up. I'll post that into the chat box there.
Thanks.
Campbell, what's the Wi-Fi
Brian.
range on that?
Range, the TP-Link themselves talk about that the Wi-Fi range is capable for a reasonable sized room. I've had it going in church, and it probably I haven't done the testing to work out just how far it is, but in unofficial testing, I can say that it's probably about 15 to 20 meters.
Okay, great. And how many, sorry, you may have just said this and I missed it, but how many concurrent connections?
I'm not sure there's a limit. In reading up about OpenWRT, from what I understand, it just sounds like a limit with IP addresses and leases on those.
Okay.
Something else, just so everyone is aware, that we will be doing a follow-up email to all the registrant participants on this call. We're going to be posting the recorded version of this webinar as well as the notes and a lot of these references and sites and things to the MMF website. So I'll be sending a link with all of that, just so you're aware.
But yeah, it is helpful if you have a link like you just mentioned, and I see Campbell putting some in the chat box. Put those links in there. That way I can capture them easily and make sure they're in the notes. All right, Benjamin. I think we're there, man.
We're good. Yes, sir. We are. I believe so. All right. Well, thank you all once again for taking time out of your day. For those of you who are on lunch or who stayed up into the wee hours of the morning or into your day, we greatly appreciate it. We invite you to come back May 20th for the next edition, the next segment of the series on how to preparing your short-term teams for mobile ministry. We'll plug again the next 6-week course starts on July the 8th. So go and visit that website again. It's https://cybermissions.org.com/Moodle. So please check that out, and we look forward to potentially seeing you on our next one. We'll be sending out an email later. Let me just close us in some prayer. Thanksgiving to the Lord.
Hey, can I mention really quickly, Benjamin, just in terms of our next consultation, is we don't have a date. We normally meet in December, and at this point, we know we're not going to meet this December. We'll meet in 2015, probably in the first or second quarter. Location and everything else to be announced. And then for those who are interested, the EMDC in 2015 will be in Holland in April. So the dates will be in the notes.
Absolutely. All right. Well, Clyde, would you close us?
Absolutely. Lord, we bless you and worship you and thank you that we can reach out across the the miles through the technology. We invite you to be our king this day. Lord, we want to use technology not as a means but as an end. Not as an end but as a means for your glory. So just help us to be wise, to be innocent, to be good stewards of all that you give us. And bless this time and just the fruit from our call. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. Well, thank you all again, and we hope that you have a wonderful rest of your day, evening, morning, whatever. God bless.
Amen.